If you walked into an arcade in the 1990s, your senses were immediately overwhelmed. The air smelled like burnt pizza and ozone, and row after row of heavy, glowing cabinets demanded your attention. Before you could touch a joystick, you had to convert your cash into the local currency. You held a plastic cup full of heavy brass tokens, bearing a stamp that literally declared they had zero cash value. But that stamp was a lie, and you knew exactly what those tokens were worth. You would stand on that neon-patterned carpet, staring at a wall saturated with cheap plush toys and top-shelf electronics, doing the desperate mental math to figure your target. In that environment, you were operating as a micro-investor. You had a strict inventory of ammunition in your cup, and your entire goal was to maximize your physical return on a handful of quarters. The business model worked because it offered an immediate, visceral translation of physical skill into a tangible object. Today, app developers are resurrecting that exact psychological loop, compressing the entire arcade floor into a sheet of glass. VS Compete is a head-to-head skill arcade currently in development. It strips away the heavy cabinets entirely, replacing them with a high-speed smartphone interface that pits two human beings against each other. This flowchart visualizes the strict wager driving the app. 2 players put in 3 tokens each, creating a pot of 6. The winner takes 5. And the house keeps 1. That's a near 100% return in exactly 15 seconds. To get those tokens, you visit the digital equivalent of the arcade change machine. The app's store interface heavily emphasizes the purchase-to-win loop, offering pricing tiers that range from a $2 starter pack to a $10 mega pack. This ecosystem relies entirely on a concept called breakage. A large portion of the user base will buy a small number of tokens, lose them quickly to highly skilled opponents, and leave the app. Those casual losses fund the rewards for the top tier of players. A high win rate translates directly into real merchandise, like an Xbox controller shipped to a player's physical address. Tying digital performance to a physical package elevates the stakes of every round, bridging the divide between the screen and the real world. Modern mobile games often operate on endurance. You sink dozens of hours into repetitive tasks to unlock rare items. The creator of this app openly rejected that model, arguing that players no longer have time for rewards based on a grind. His antidote is aggressive brevity. Every single match in this environment is hard-capped at 15 seconds. You enter the lobby, experience a spike of adrenaline, someone wins, and you are out. But measuring pure speed creates structural flaws. In early testing for a math game, players quickly realized they could simply mash all 4 of the multiple choice buttons in a fraction of a second. They would register a faster completion time than an opponent who took half a second to actually do the arithmetic. To eliminate that exploit, the server mandates absolute accuracy on the very first attempt. If you make a mistake during a 10-minute boss fight in a standard game, you can take cover and heal. Here, a single input error is instantly fatal to the match. When you require absolute precision, the brain needs time to process. When you demand extreme speed, the brain relies on instinct. Forcing a user to do both simultaneously within a micro-window pushes cognitive load to its absolute limit, isolating pure reflex. You can see exactly how this stress is engineered by looking directly at the app's own CSS style sheet. It functions as a blueprint for hostile architecture, code designed to manufacture tension. The countdown timer dominates the user's focus. The code dictates a massive 120-pixel font size, completely overtaking the mobile screen. Simultaneously, a bright red opponent banner drops into your peripheral vision in exactly 0.2 of a second, alerting you they are also progressing. Even the static art assets are designed to agitate. For a Western shootout game, players tap a generated bullet hole graphic. It features sharp, jagged metallic edges around a dark void, meant to look as though the physical glass of your phone just took kinetic damage. The code also manufactures tactile feedback where none exists. A specific line of CSS shrinks a digital button by exactly 2% the instant a finger presses against the glass. The visual cortex interprets this reduction as physical depth, creating the illusion that you are smashing a real button down into the device. The interface itself generates the tension. It uses aggressive visual cues to maintain a state of constant urgency, compensating for the fact that a 15-second game lacks the time to build pressure through a narrative or a musical score. When you combine real-world financial entry fees with a zero-sum token economy and physical prizes, you step into dangerous legal territory. The style sheet includes a dark, undismissible overlay coded to force users to agree to strict terms before entering the ecosystem. This age gate is a reminder that the stakes are not simulated. The entire business model relies on the claim that these games are strictly skill-based. If there is even a fractional element of chance influencing the outcome, the legal shield evaporates, and the app risks classification as an illegal gambling operation. To keep users coming back to that razor's edge, the interface actively strokes their ego. If your name appears on a public leaderboard, the CSS injects a custom background gradient and a solid gold glowing border specifically for your row, visually separating you from the pack. This continuous cycle of micro-wins and rapid feedback changes the baseline for what a player finds stimulating. It creates a system where engagement is tied to an immediate, tangible consequence, repeated every 15 seconds. This architecture is the exact opposite of the slow reward loops found in the real world. VS Compete is betting its entire economic model on the belief that modern users would rather chase the instant payout of a digital spider ring than engage with a long, slow grind.